Hi, I'm Julian Frost, N3JF, your Ham Radio Sensei. Onegaishimasu. 2022 marked the return of the Dayton Hamvention to the Greene County Fair and Expo Center in Xenia, Ohio. This was the 70th anniversary of the Hamvention and was labeled as the Reunion. Ham Radio Outlet was there, of course, and I walked the Hamvention halls to see what was there. In this video, I spoke with Matt Staal of M Squared Antenna Systems about the Orion 2800 rotator.
Hi there, Matt with M Squared Antenna Systems. A lot of people ask about the Orion 2800 and how it's built and what's the construction style. Obviously, if anybody's ever held our clamps and weighed them, these are ductile iron clamps. Very amazing, very tough material. So you can really tighten them up and they don't break and crack like a lot of other rotator clamps will do. It also has a splined output shaft, which is really cool. A lot of people don't do this, but this is how they drive cars. Cars have splined output shafts, that's how they couple. So we're employing a drived output shaft. This particular rotor has the G2 upgrade, which is a unique new method of having a grease seal in here. So what I've done is I've left the original seal in the original downward thrust bearing down in here, and I've added another side thrust bearing here. And I've added another upper seal on top. These create a place for grease to ride between them. So what I've done is I've increased the side load by adding this other bearing. And what would happen is on the original version, this shaft would move over, wear the original seal out, and then water would get in. So we added a second seal, a better side thrust bearing, and a seal on top, and then I can pump grease in between the two seals. So that's what I do, is I create a grease seal in here. That's factory greased, so when you get it from the factory, it's already been greased. So that's that. It also has needle bearings on the inside. We have a large output shaft and a large gear number 1. This has, again, the splines here. It also has a unique method of hanging the gear, or attaching the gear to the shaft, which is a square shaft that we machine in with a taper, so it slips right together. It can be field repaired or field changed by customers. They do it all the time. But then it has a spacer that holds it up in case the bolt drops it down. That's what that is. There's also a torque plate. This is common. Originally, the original 2300s that were AC motors back in the early days had an internal plate. And that internal plate would get loose on the inside and shear the hardware and kind of jack up the whole rotor. So what we did is we added the full plate all the way out to the edges, and we pinch it between the top casting and the bottom casting. Limit switch system, very simple, no magic. Basically, it's a pin that comes around and smacks the arm and runs it into a limit switch. I have the reversing diodes off because this is my take it apart model. So that's the simple limit switch system. If you grab a hold of these gears and you come to the show, if you ever see us at a show, pick one of these up, take a look. This is steel. We make them in our own plant. We weld them in our own plant. We do everything fabricated in the US right here. We make all these gears. These are American made. This is steel. This is not plastic. This is meant to stay together. We also use a unique method that people have been kind of copying over the years, is worm gear drives. Worm gear drives create a automatic brake or a mechanical brake without having a brake in the system. So you don't have to push a button to turn a brake off and then have the system move. The brake is built in because you can't back up through a worm gear drive. So that's that system. This is a DC motor, a brushed DC motor, and I have a mag spinner on the back side that runs by a reed switch. This reed switch has been demolished through the years of taking it off and on, but this reed switch sits right above it, and as the magnet spins around, it creates a pulse. We count those pulses and we put that divide ratio into our controller. That's how we keep track of the position of this. Then this goes back into place. Very simple. Goes right back together. An easy assembly. I'm making it look super easy. Gear number 1. Again, that pin comes around, smacks these. That bearing, this here, here and here. It's all together. Splined output shaft or spline drive plate goes right on. A couple of clamps. You're spinning your antenna, your large Yaggies. Thanks for stopping.